You want to know what really hurts a woman? Not yelling, not blocking her, not begging her to understand. It's this one thing most men never do because it requires strength, silence, self-control. And when she realizes what you've done, she won't forget it. This isn't about games. This is about what happens when a man finally wakes up and stops handing his peace to someone who never respected it. Let me explain the realization she didn't expect. At first, she doesn't even notice the shift. She thinks you're still there, still waiting, still hoping, because that's what you've always done. You were always the one who cared too much, the one who stayed up late trying to fix what she wouldn't even admit was broken, the one who over-explained just to calm her silence, the one who forgave her cold words, her moods, her disappearing acts. Again and again, you gave her your heart, thinking she'd see your effort, but she didn't. She saw a man who wouldn't leave, a man who kept giving no matter how little she gave back. And deep down, she mistook your love for weakness. So she got comfortable, too comfortable. She thought she had time to decide, time to push you away and pull you back when it suited her, time to treat you like an option because you always came back. But something shifted, and it wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was quiet. You didn't slam the door. You didn't write a long message. You didn't post quotes or play games. You just stopped. You stopped chasing her mood. You stopped trying to read her mixed signals. You stopped answering her silence with paragraphs. You didn't yell. You didn't cry. You didn't explain. You just went quiet. And that calm, peaceful silence, it hits different because it doesn't sound like anger. It doesn't sound like bitterness. It sounds like freedom. For the first time, she feels something she never expected from you: distance. But not the kind where you're still hoping from afar, not the kind where you're pretending to move on but still checking in. This distance is different. It's the kind that says, I'm not waiting anymore. I'm not trying to be enough for someone who couldn't see it. I'm choosing me now. And that realization, it doesn't just sting, it shakes her. Because once a man who truly loved you stops trying, there's no script left to control him with. No guilt, no silence, no game. You finally let go, and nothing hurts her more than realizing the man she once thought she could always return to doesn't live there anymore. The shift in power, it starts small. You stop replying right away. You stop asking, "Are you okay?" when she pulls away. You stop overthinking every word she says, wondering what it means. You used to chase her approval. Now you value your peace. You used to shrink yourself just to avoid conflict. Now you say less and mean more, and she feels it. At first, she thinks it's just a phase, that you're playing it cool to get a reaction. She assumes you'll fold like always. But this time, it's different. You're not being cold. You're not playing games. You're just done performing. Done being the one who always tries harder. Done being emotionally available for someone who weaponized silence. Done proving your worth to someone who acted like it was nothing special. And that shift, it shakes her because she was used to controlling the rhythm. She knew how to pull you in, then push you away, then pull you back again. But now you've gone still, unbothered, unreachable. She throws attitude, you don't flinch. She tries to start a fight, you stay calm. She disappears, and for the first time, you don't follow. That silence, that calm energy, it doesn't just confuse her, it exposes her. It shows her that what she thought was control was only possible because you allowed it. Now she has no idea where she stands, because the man who used to orbit around her emotions now revolves around his own standards. She's not used to this version of you, the one who values peace more than her validation, the one who can walk away not to punish her, but to protect his own mind and heart. And that's what hurts the most. Because when you're no longer controlled by her drama, her moods, her games, she realizes something terrifying. She never had power. She just had access, and now she doesn't anymore. When she sees you peaceful, there's a moment, a silent moment, when she sees you and you don't look like the man she remembers. You're not bitter. You're not cold. You're not chasing. You're just peaceful. You're living your life, focused on your work, spending time with real friends, smiling in ways she hasn't seen before, smiling like you're free. And that's when it hits her. She didn't break you. She set you free. The man who once waited for her replies doesn't wait on anyone now. The man who once asked for her attention now commands it without even trying. She sees you post a picture not with someone else, but with yourself, looking alive, at peace, untouchable. And in that split second, she remembers how you used to light up when she walked in, how you used to bend your plans just to make her happy, how you used to carry the weight of the relationship on your back, and now she's watching you live, and she's not part of it. You're not moving on to make her jealous. You're not posting stories to get her attention. You're simply being you, finally. And that's the cut that stings deeper than any argument, any breakup, any goodbye. Because she realizes you didn't just let go of her. You let go of needing her. And nothing scares a woman more than seeing the man she once took for granted thriving in a life where she's no longer even a thought. She thought you'd be broken, but you're better. She thought you'd stay in the shadows, but you're out in the sun, and she's not even in the frame. That's not revenge, that's healing. And for her, that hurts more than anything she ever imagined. When you stop explaining, there's a kind of silence that says more than 1,000 words. And when you reach that point where you stop explaining yourself to her, that's when everything changes. You see, you used to explain your heart, your intentions, your every move. You explained why you cared, why you stayed, why you forgave. You explained your silence when you were hurt and your words when you felt misunderstood. But none of it mattered because she wasn't listening. She wasn't trying to understand. She was trying to control the story. And you kept giving her power. Every time you explained yourself to someone who had already made up her mind. But then one day, you stop. She starts her usual routine, the guilt, the blame, the twisting of the story. And you say nothing. No defense, no explanation, no begging her to see your side. You let her talk. And when she's done, you simply nod and walk away. Not in anger, not in spite, but with a calm heart. Because you finally understand something powerful. You don't owe explanations to someone who never valued the truth. And that silence, that calm, unshakable stillness, it burns louder than any words ever could. Because it's not silence out of fear, it's silence out of strength. She can't twist it, she can't use it, she can't control it. And that's when the weight of everything she did starts falling back on her. The man who once fought to be understood is now the man who doesn't need to be. And nothing makes a woman regret her choices more than realizing she lost the one person who was willing to explain himself until he realized she was never worth explaining to. This was never about revenge. It was never about playing hard to get, and it was never about making her jealous. This is about rising. It's about standing up after being overlooked. It's about finding your strength in the silence. It's about choosing your peace over her chaos, your self-respect over her mind games, your future over her mixed signals. Because when a man truly learns to value his time, his heart, his peace, and his worth, he stops chasing people who never deserved him. He stops begging for the bare minimum. He stops waiting for people to realize his value. And instead, he becomes unforgettable. Not because he tried to be, but because his absence speaks louder than his presence ever did. And the ones who didn't value him, they remember. They remember the silence, the way he didn't argue, didn't explain, didn't fight. They remember the distance, the way he pulled back, not to punish, but to protect his soul. They remember the moment, the exact day he stopped showing up with a heart they never bothered to protect. That's stoicism. That's masculine power. That's what it means to become a man who moves in peace, not noise. Because in a world full of men trying to prove themselves, the man who doesn't need to is the one they never forget. And that's the day she realizes you weren't just another man chasing her. You were the blessing she didn't recognize. And now she never gets that chance again. So if you've ever walked away from chaos, if you've ever chosen peace over drama, if you've ever stopped explaining yourself to someone who never cared, drop a comment. I choose peace. Let it echo for every man still trying to find his worth. And remind yourself you don't have to fight for what's meant for you.